Zoom?
After he presents the introduction, they will divide the group into two.
This is
and
what
we
you
have
want.
two leaders for
Wait,
each
where's the Zoom?
group. And then they will do twice for each group. And I want to introduce Ray T. Ray T just got doctoral degree. Yay!
It works.
He's still a student, but he's not a student anymore, but he graciously agreed to volunteer for today.
So why is
so
it-
I
Oh,
want
it's
to introduce
low.
Dr. Ray T. Yeah.
Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, Independence Day, and for friends who are Muslims, have a nice, solemn celebration of the month of Ramadan. Right now, we'll talk about intercultural relation.
So don't leave. Don't leave, we don't come.
Bienvenidos, Annyeonghaseyo, konnichiwa, benvenuti, merhaba. Welcome. If you want to avoid having problems in the U.S., don't stare at people in the eyes. Don't say people are thin or fat. Sense of beauty is different in different parts of the world. Don't sit beside somebody if there are open chairs. Don't touch people unnecessarily. In other countries, we touch people a lot. Imagine there are two persons standing beside you and the person you're talking to. In the winter time, put on some lotion, petroleum jelly, or baby oil. Cover your head and ears if you're from tropical countries and the equator. Put on some gloves and some scarves as well, and have some undershirt, banyan, vest, extra layer of shirt, and long sleeve blouse or shirt. It's good to put on layers so that when you go to a room which is hot or cold, you can take off one by one. Have a cardigan or a sweater on top of everything, and another piece of jacket or coat or windbreaker, and then have an overcoat. So depending on how cold or warm the place you're going to, you can take off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers. Have shoes with traction. It's true. I had an operation for $5,000. I had to spend $1,000 with insurance. Why are cultures different? Because each society is unique. Each society goes through different historical experiences. Some people come from slave-owning societies where there's no equality, or feudal societies where there's no equality, or capitalist society where formally there is equality. There's dominant culture, there's minority culture. There are alternative cultures as well. There are rich people, there are poor people with different cultures. When you come to another country like the US, you will experience what is called as the V curve. Number one, it's honeymoon. I'm in the US, I'm in the land of milk and honey. Everything is so beautiful, but shut. How come we're in the cornfields? There are no tall buildings. And the food sucks. It doesn't taste like my rice, my biryani, my baguette, not my chapati, not my naan. The dal has so much dal, not water. Then you adjust. When you go back, when you go to the dorm, stay over 6 months or so, you say, okay, the dal in India is different from the dal in the US. And then you realize, okay, there are two kinds of making biryani. Okay, so you accept things as they are. And then once you go home again, many Indians will not go home and stay here. So this is for those who will go home. You experience the W curve. Honeymoon. Oh my goodness, my mom look for me a husband or a wife. I'm getting married. There's no dowry or there's no dowry, whatever it is. But then you get shocked. How come my mom's dal is full of water? The dal in the US has a lot of dal. So you're shocked like, Mom, how come you cook your dal this way? Your mom hit you in the head. And then you recover, say, okay, Mom, I realize we're not in the US anymore. I'm back in Andhra Pradesh, and in Mumbai, in Chennai. And you accept that the dal there has more water than dal. And you readjust. You say, oh, US dal is not the way I eat dal. It should be my mom's way of cooking dal, or biryani, or baguette, or coffee, whatever it is. So you will undergo up and down cultural shock. And in other countries, you can smoke at any age, as you wish. This is a real picture. She was world famous. And in other countries, people blame themselves for the mistakes that they make. And they praise others for what is good. But in the US, it's the reverse. You praise yourself for what things, if they go well, and blame others if things go wrong. and you have to be 18 years old to buy cigarette, 21 years old to buy and drink alcohol, and if you go to a diner, you can have refill for free, not in Starbucks. Being late in other countries is polite. That means you're not hungry. You have food at home. And then 24/7, people will give you hospitality. It's polite to make noise when you eat. And it's rude to blow your nose. And farting is not rude in some countries. In some countries, soft shake hand is polite. In the US, it's the reverse. Being late is rude. And people have different kinds of friends in the office, at home, and they're separate friends. Americans are very hospitable, but there's by appointment only. You blowing your nose is not rude. Farting is rude in the US. And looking not straight in the eye is rude. And soft handshake shows you are not sincere in the US. All kinds of Americans. There's Native Americans, European Americans, African Americans, other blacks, like from the Caribbean, or people who are African, not African American, Asian American, Latinos and Latinas, Hawaiian and Pacific Islanders, people of mixed heritage like Obama and Sean Paul. And there are all kinds of families, single parent, gay, straight, no family, and we have to respect everyone, whether they're janitor or the president of the university. Both women and men have equal rights, both gay and straight. If you insult or make fun of one or the other, you could be sued. Okay? You have to be nice to everyone, cashier, hotel staff, director, secretary. Each and everyone demands full respect. So courtesy demands we treat people equally, whatever differences we have with them. In some societies, you have to say, Gandhiji. You don't thank your friends. You don't thank your family members. It's rude to do that. In the US, it's different. You don't call professors. Sometimes they say, just call me John. Polite words, hello, goodbye, could you please, or thank you, I appreciate it. These are basic words you have to say in the US all the time. In the US, yes means yes, no means no. In some cultures, it's rude to say no. So people say yes to mean no. You say yes to mean maybe. And sometimes yes to say, I really don't know. Because it's rude to say no in some cultures. So be careful when you say yes or no, depending on the culture of the person with whom you are conversing. US writing style is straight. A leads to B. In some cultures, you have so much flower and long highway that goes around circuitously. In the US, 2 pages is 1 chapter. Okay, it's possible. In other cultures, 1 sentence has 34 pages. One is not right or wrong. It's different. And Americans use active voice, not passive voice. And in other cultures, it's rude to use I. We have to change our mind when we come. And there's one way of writing that they expect you to do when you come to the US. In other cultures, like you would say, I come from the rising Pluto and very flowery, and you have no reference. Oops, plagiarism. In the US, you have academic freedom, but you cannot just copy and paste from the website. They know. Social invitation. In other countries, it's rude to ask people, do you want to eat? You just offer food. In other cultures. In the US, it's kind of different. There's fixed hospitality time. If people say, let's have some food together, it means goodbye. If they say, let's have lunch together at 5 o'clock, that means you pay your own meal. If they say, I pay for your lunch, that means they're paying for it. In the US, there's a Bill of Rights, there's a freedom of religion and freedom from religion. There's a separation between church and state, and Congress makes no law either prohibiting or supporting one religion. So the state cannot interfere with religion. So you have the right to religion and from religion. And so ISFO cannot support one religion or another. Be careful with US dollars, they're all green. If you pay somebody $50, they say, no, just pay me $1. Then you're dead. You tell them, I gave you $20, so you get the right change. 3 attitudes. 1, my culture is the best. Other cultures suck big time. And romanticism, well, American culture is the best on earth. My own culture, it sucks. That's the reverse. The best one is to say, Well, there are good points in your culture and in my culture, as well as there are bad things in your culture and my culture. 5 things not to do. Go on and on and on when you go home. Pretend you are American and tell them things. And act like you are better than anyone else. And you're so arrogant telling people how it's like. And don't have a blanket hatred of the U.S. when you go home. Thank you. Right now we'll have a group discussion. We'll divide a group into 2. Everyone on this side, please move to my right. Group 1 will be led by Adrian and Mitch. They'll discuss academics and professionalism with you for 15 minutes, as well as religion and places of worship and student association. Group 2 will stay where you are, but could you come closer up to the front, please? Group 2. And go down, or go down? Okay. Go down. Okay. Go down, and Shri will discuss Chicago culture and sports and cultural sensitivity in ethnic food for 15 minutes. So go down. We'll go with Shri, right? Okay, so Mitch and go down are in this group. 15 minutes. Shri and Adrian will be in this group. Okay. Okay, we can start now. 15 minutes.